I'm Nixie. Now, a few weeks ago, when I was looking at my Ily 4Ever purchases from the Disney store, I did say that there was one pack I'd left for another video, and it was this pack. The Space Mountain Inspired sort of camping set. Here's a picture on the back, just showing you like the sleeping blanket, the telescope. I mean, they've got her set inside, whereas we're going for a more outdoor theme. So let's take this out the box and check out the accessories. So inside we get a plastic journal that says Space Out. It does open, however, inside it is just blank. And you also get a little sort of teal colour pen as well. It doesn't come off, but it's quite realistic looking. You get a bucket of popcorn. I'm not quite sure what this bit's meant to be. Doesn't come off. Maybe that's just how buckets of popcorn look for the Space Mountain ride if you buy them near there. We have a plate with some pizza on. It doesn't come off. And my one does have a little bit of a painting defect just there. You get a purple torch, which I really like that. I think that's pretty cute. There's a little cup with a planet logo on. I think this is quite cute because it does look like one of those tin cups that you take with you to go camping. We then have a purple thermos, which has a space pattern sticker around it. We have a lantern, and I really like this. I think this is so cool looking. I mean, if only this lit up, it would be 100% perfect. To be fair, there's a hole in the bottom here, and there's enough space, so if you had the right sort of, like, light here, you might be able to do something with that. I do have these, like, little balloon lights, which it doesn't really fix it. It sort of goes out the bottom, but if you had something a bit smaller than that, like, pop it in. Now, doesn't that look cool? Okay, so if I can find something that's maybe a light that's maybe a tiny bit smaller than this, that would be awesome. You then get a telescope and 3 stands. So I assume we just clip these like this. And then we have the stand, and it will move up and down the telescope, so that's quite cool. And then finally you get this pillow and sleeping blanket. The sleeping blanket says Out of This World at the bottom. It's in this nice sort of star material. And then the inside is all purple patterned with, I'm pretty sure that's how the Space Mountain ride looks. It's been quite a while since I've been to any Disney theme parks. We've also got things like rockets, planets, moon. So yeah, that's cool. And the same pattern is then reflected on this star-shaped pillow. And it's sort of in a more fuzzy material. It does have a giant label on the back though, so we'll just need to snip that off. There we go, much better. But now that we've got all our cool camping equipment, my thought was we need to make a tent. So I got this really pretty space theme material, which I thought would go quite nicely with the purple theme. Plus I got a load of wooden sticks, so we're just gonna have a go and hope for the best. So firstly, I'm going to need to create a frame, so I need to get these 2 sticks together, and to do that I'm going to use my new miter shears. So I'm just going to pop this in here, hold it straight, cut, and that's a nice 45-degree angle, which I'm going to put like this. Now I know this will mean that our top is a bit wonky where the point is, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. So I'll be gluing those 2 together and then putting one like this to form the basic start of the frame, and obviously making another triangle bit here. Now these sticks are 30 centimeters, it's how it came, so that's what we're going to work with. As you can see lengthwise it should just about fit our sleeping blanket, so we're hoping it's going to work. Now to stick the points I'm going to be using some super glue. Hot glue just doesn't seem to be my friend, so I'm going to attempt some Yoo-hoo. Obviously just try use whatever you think is going to work and you're comfortable using. Okay, so this frame was way more painful to create than I had anticipated. I used several kinds of glue, none of them were working. In the end I resorted to wood glue, but you do have to wait like 30 minutes for it to dry, so sort of waiting for each section to dry has taken me quite some time. But we do have a frame now, and the wood glue, even that wasn't perfect, but we have something. And, as you can see, it's actually a really good size for this sleeping bag. So in the end I used the full length 30 centimeters of that, 30 centimeters of these, and just cut the ones across a little bit shorter. It may not be perfect, but let's hope it holds. So I now want to make a base for our tent. And to do this, I've got myself a piece of corrugated cardboard cut down to the right size. Now, I have had to sellotape it up because I didn't have a long enough piece myself, so I've had kind of used 2 pieces, but it does fit in nicely underneath. However, obviously we don't want to leave it just as cardboard, so I've cut out a piece of our material. And what I'm going to do is glue it to the cardboard, so these edges are going to end up stuck underneath like this. I've tried to cut it to the exact width of this, but for the edges, I'm going to have to make a little snip here, and then I'm going to tuck and glue them around the wooden dowels. So first up, just need to cover this with a layer of glue. I'm using some tacky glue. Essentially, I'm just using random glues today, whatever I've got to hand. Okay, so that's stuck on, but I am just going to let this dry a little bit before we attach it to the frame. So next up, I want to tackle the back of the tent. So I've cut out this paper tent plate. Now, annoyingly, this is slightly wider than A4, so kind of cut off the corners at the end, but it's okay, we can just pretend they're there. Essentially, what I want to do is cut a bit longer than this because I'm going to wrap it around the end, and I also need a bit sort of tabs on either side because we're going to attempt to do some sewing. We're going to sort of obviously have a nice big rectangle to cover this whole bit, and then with these tabs sort of sew them together. Well, at least that is the plan. Okay, so we have this bit cut out with all the extra around it now. I have also just drawn an outline around this so I know where I need to be sewing. So essentially we're going to put wrong side to wrong side, sew along there, go around, sew along there, and then we hopefully will get our end of tent. Or at least that is what I'm hoping. I am not the most confident sort of sewer, so we're just going to suck it and see. Okay, so I did just decide to pin and tack this because going in completely blind before I use the sewing machine seemed to be just asking for trouble. So I think we're going to be good. Let's hope. But we've got a better plan now. We've got it tacked. And here it is sewn and trimmed down. Now, I'm not sure how you're really meant to go around sort of tight corners like this, and it is a little bit sort of caught and messy, but it works. I'm sure there is a proper way for doing that, but like I said, as long as it works, that's the main thing. And we're going to be turning it inside out anyway. I mean, that could look neater, but it doesn't look horrific. And moment of truth. It's a little bulky up there, but not the worst. And essentially, I have managed to make a sort of triangle shape that fits. Okay, so now we really need to put the base on because we can't put the cover on first. So I've just cut around like just the edges sort of here. And what we're going to do is glue these on top of it and glue the edges round it. Like that. Essentially because we're going to be gluing the edges of the tent round as well, so these aren't going to show. Okay, and there we go. So I used Yoo-Hoo glue for this, mainly because I thought, you know, I haven't used that one yet. Because it failed to secure the wood. So, you know, give it a turn. And now with the cover on, we are going to eventually just glue it all down. But we need to sort out the entrance to this tent first. Now obviously we could consider more sewing, but as I'm not the best at sewing, we're going to try some hemming tape. So here's what I'm thinking. If I cut sort of here, but like allowing a bit of seam allowance, then with some hemming tape, sort of iron it along here so that it'll be folded nicely, and also attempt something similar at the bottom, we hopefully should get tent flaps. That's kind of the plan. Like I said, we're kind of making this up as we go along. Or at least I have an idea in my head and we're trying it as we go along. Right, so I've pinned it up kind of how I'm hoping it's going to end up. But so you need to cut a load of material and then iron in the hemming tape. But I'm hoping it's going to work. I just put some clips in to try and hold the tent into place. I think it could work. Let's give it a go. Okay, so I trimmed the edges now. I'm going to remove the pins and then use my little mini iron to flatten it and then iron in the hem. But I think I'm going to get the creases first before I try doing the iron on hem. So for the hemming tape, you literally just sort of put it on the inside, fold it over, iron, and it's sort of got, I guess, like a heat reactive adhesive, so that it should all nicely stick together and then not pull up. Just see? Okay, so that's quite nicely stuck, and it's quite a nice neat edge without any sewing. And the less sewing, the better, really. So now we get it all on. That's quite a nice finish just down here, so we can sort of look in the flaps. But we're just going to need to now glue all these edges so that it is secure. So all glued, and I think just to make it neater, we're going to put a bit of felt on the bottom here, just to keep all the edges looking nice. There we go, nice bit of felt on. Annoyingly, I didn't have a purple or dark blue. This was the only thing that kind of matched, but it's okay, it's on the bottom, we won't see it. But now here we have our finished tent, and actually I think it's looking okay. So we've got the flaps that come open, and the base is the same colour, and we can easily fit this sleeping blanket, which was the whole reason we made a tent. Our Barbies can go camping. And just as little scale, here is the Holiday 2024 Barbie, who is now on a nice made to move body. I did get one of those yoga Barbies. I do think it's actually turned out a really good size Barbie. It could have even been a tiny bit shorter, but it just means she's got a little bit more room. Personally, I'm pleased it turned out alright. It matches our nice new Ily 4Ever set, and as it's the summer, you know, my Barbies might want to go on holiday and go camping, so this is perfect. But thank you so much for watching as I had a look at this Ily 4Ever set and made a tent. If you did like this video, do hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos, do subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!